let's your time as program director and academic through the 70s and into the early 80s, and it was time maybe for a career change. I don't know. Anyway, you came on in, I think, officially 86 as
85.
85.
1985.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So at that period of time, just prior to that, where they're looking around for someone to replace Don Rice, who was going to step down.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned to me when we talked earlier that you didn't even think about applying at the time.
No,
but,
I didn't.
yeah.
I was really quite happy with the balance I had. I'd kept my family practice through the time in Mississauga because it was a group at that time, and so I was able to be there part-time. Yeah. And I did that because I wanted to remain clinically relevant with the students and residents that I was involved in training. And that paid off, I think, because when I eventually went with the college in 1985, the residents all that had come through our program all got together and had a dinner for me downtown in Toronto one night, and they roasted me pretty well that night. But one of the significant things they said, in my mind, was the fact that they always listened when I was talking because they felt I was still actually doing the job, and I was still delivering babies and working in Emerge and doing in-hospital care as well as my family practice. So. Right. And at times it was stressful, sort of going back and forth, but I think it was worth the struggle to keep part-time in community practice when I was teaching. So I was quite happy with that balance, and I'd kind of worked it out and so on. So I didn't actually apply to the search committee when they were looking for a successor for Dr. Rice, but they trapped me. They asked me, they said, well, you've had a lot of experience with the college, Reg, so why don't you just come and maybe chat with the committee about what you think the future of the college should be, and so on and so forth. Well, that was the snare that caught me, because when I got there and listened to what they were doing and what they were thinking, I got more and more interested, and ultimately, when they invited me to take the job, I accepted.
Oh, well, great.
I never regretted it.
Yeah.
I mean, I never regretted that. It was the 11 years I was with the college was absolutely a fantastic experience, and
good.
It gave me a view of things that I never would have otherwise had in my career. So I'm actually most grateful to them for that invitation.
Good. Coming into the role, I mean, you were invited to come and talk to them about what you saw coming down the road, I suppose. Did you have some goals, or did you see, what was your perspective coming in terms of where the college was headed over the next 10 years?
Well, I knew we had to grow, and I knew we had to remain relevant to what our graduates of the residency program particularly were going to be asked to do when they went out into practice. Mm-hmm. So I was very aware of what we need to do in the education field. Unfortunately, you were there, so I had a wonderful ally in that respect. I was very impressed with the senior staff at the college, and I think you remember the first senior staff meeting we had when I said, look, I think you've all in good shape to do the jobs you've been given, so run with it, and don't have to check back with me all the time. I said, we'll all make mistakes, hopefully not the same one twice. But I had a wonderful relationship with you and the other senior staff at the college at the time, and that was a huge support to me, because it meant that I was able to do what I felt I need to do as the executive director, and not worry about the day-to-day operations in the office, and that worked out really well. I was aware that there were some other things that needed to happen. We needed to reach out more to researchers. I hadn't done research much at the University of Toronto, but I always saw the need for it. And when I came aboard at the college in 1985, of course you had your section of teachers already, but we did establish, as you know, a section of residents to balance that out. a section of researchers to balance that out. And then also we had a section of residents, and I was very pleased to see that my successor, Dr. Cal Gutkin, got the undergraduate students really involved too during his time, so that eventually over that period of time we incorporated all the things that I think were important. And the other thing that I wondered about was the sustaining fund, which was our arm to raise charitable donations for the college, was not very well structured. I didn't think it was too casual and informal, and so I went to the effort of getting good legal and other advice to set up a proper research foundation. And so that's what we did with the Research and Education Foundation, which was eventually established in 1994, I believe, before I retired. So anyway, those were some of the things that I wanted to do, and I wanted to reach out to other organizations. I felt that the College Family Physicians of Canada couldn't do it all on its own, and we need to have really good working relationships, not only with other organizations in Canada, such as the Canadian Medical Association and the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Canada, but the licensing bodies and the various provincial organizations, and those responsible for the exams, both nationally and provincially, and international organizations such as the American Academy of Family Physicians and the Royal College of General Practitioners in Great Britain, and the World Organization of Family Doctors, WONCA, which I'd already been going to their meetings and was interested in. So I think those were some of the goals that I had when I joined the organization.